Hey everyone, this is Nick from Mecha Warehouse, and today we're back with weekly update number 82. Let's jump right into it with week in review and kind of kick things off. This is the part of the video where I talk about what's been going on this week, things that are coming up, stuff like that. And let's start off by talking about last Friday, Friday the 13th. It was kind of a double-edged sword for us. It was both our best day ever and by a wide margin, something like 40 something percent bigger than our next biggest day ever, which happens to be the Friday prior. So it's whatever our next biggest day was before that, it was probably even more than 40% larger. So maybe 50% larger than our next biggest day before this month. So it's kind of crazy. We've been absolutely buried as a result, which is, it's kind of good news in that we're dealing with lots of orders. We had a really good week, a really good restock, at least as a result of all that. But we definitely are feeling the crunch trying to get all those orders packed and out this week. We're shooting this Wednesday this week because Santana's out on Thursday when we normally would shoot this. And as of this morning, we still have at least a day and a half worth of packing left to go. So fingers crossed, we will be all caught up packing orders from this weekend's restock and everything that has come in after that, and be like 100% caught up by the end of the day Thursday, which means that going into the next restock, hopefully we'll be just starting on that new restock. I ended up packing, I think I've packed probably like 50 pre-orders off the packing station, setting up a temporary packing station back here in the back corner of the warehouse for these Dom and Rick Dom pre-orders. There's still a few more to go that I'll hopefully do today. And if everything plays out right, we will be caught up, and that's good, and it was amazing. So I guess I should really be saying thank you to everybody. It was an amazing restock, and what's incredible more than anything else is that usually when we've got these really big record days, things taper off because we run out of stock of a lot of things. This is the first time we've had a big restock like this, where I'd say the majority of the top items from the restock are still in stock, which is really cool. It means it's hopefully the sign of kind of the end of shortages for us, or at least the beginning of the end. There's a lot of items that will still be coming in lower quantities, but so much came in that for that restock that things were incredible. Now the downside, the Friday the 13th, because something always goes wrong, right, on Friday the 13th. What went wrong for us is our bin system, i.e. the system that tracks all these bin label numbers and prints out a list that tells us exactly where everything is that we need for a given set of orders, completely lost its mind and forgot where everything in the entire warehouse is. And unfortunately, the system we use had no function for a backup or anything. So basically all the work we've done over the last 2 years recording where everything is and keeping that information up to date is now gone. So if we want to get that back, somebody's going to probably have to spend like a week walking around with a tablet or laptop and manually enter all those numbers back in again, which is a lot of work, and a lot of work anticipating a move in a few weeks to a few months where we're going to have to do it all again at the new warehouse. So that's kind of frustrating. I realized last night that if we hire somebody, and we're in the process of hiring still, when we bring that new person in, the first thing that we typically have a new hire do is They pick orders for a little while, kind of get the lay of the land and understand how to make sure they got the right item when they pick an item and figure out where everything is in the warehouse. Without that pick system, a new hire might not be able to figure out where everything is very quickly. The existing team it's definitely been slower than normal, but we're all familiar roughly where everything is, so it's a little bit easier to kind of hunt for things. That's been fun so far. On the incoming side, things have also been interesting. Friday, during this restock, we received 5 pallets worth of inventory. We received a 6th pallet, I think, on Monday, and we're expecting a few more pallets later in the week. We've been checking the stuff in as fast as we can. I took some more stuff to the storage unit. We are still, even with all the orders that we're shipping out, it's not clearing enough space to have room for everything that just came in. So there's a lot of stuff we're checking in now that we're literally checking in, and sticking back on another pallet in the front, just because there's nowhere to stack the extra cases. So that has also been very exciting, taking more time because we don't know where to put things and we're trying to reorganize things. So for me, it's been especially chaotic because I'm doing whatever administrative stuff I need to do and then jumping out of that to go kind of manage warehouse operations kind of on a micro scale, trying to make sure everything continues and that we're as efficient with everybody's time as we can, because we don't have unlimited resources on the staff side either. We are trying to alleviate that when working on trying to find a new space. Got a draft lease on Friday for the main space we've been looking at. There's some things that might not go okay with that space, just in terms of what the cost is going to be to build it out the way we need it. And when I amortize that cost over the 2 to 3 years that we're going to have it, that adds a lot to that, effectively what the rent is, even though we got to pay that up front, but it's going to be a lot. And so there's a good chance that we might not be able to go with that space. I'm looking at some other options, hoping I can find something soon, and maybe something that's available to move into now instead of available to move into 6 to 8 weeks out after a build out. But fingers crossed we'll find something good. So I think that's it for week in review. Let's move on to Nick's tips. This week my tip is stickers. My recommendations on what to use with stickers. And so if you want to do stickers on your kit, the best thing you can do is take those stickers out of the box and throw them in the trash, because with the exception of a few of the foil stickers, I've never had good luck with stickers. Some people love them, or at least have okay luck with them. There's definitely some tricks that will make them easier. I'm not familiar with any of them. My preference is just go to water slides, and maybe next week we'll talk about how to apply water slides and have a little bit more useful of a tip. Okay, so moving on, pre-orders. So this week we've got a really exciting batch of pre-orders. We finally got confirmations earlier this week for our Bandai Quarter 2 pre-orders. So that's everything being produced in April, May, and June. And I think one of them is actually lagged into July or August because of production delays. But all the really good stuff. So we'll run through that. And those are up. We're up as of yesterday, aka today, the day I'm filming this. Wednesday is when we published this list. But lots of good stuff. We got the Dragonar set 1 and 2. I believe those are older kits that were grouped and kind of reprinted as a batch, kind of like some of the old L game stuff. 30-minute missions, option parts set 7, aka customized heads B, option parts set 8 multi backpack. The new Gardenova brown and the Reaver Nova green. Gardenova, I believe, is kind of almost like a water-based mobile suit kind of appearance. Reminds me much of like some of the GOG and related designs. Looks kind of cool. Reaver Nova almost has like a Dom type appearance. There's the new customized weapons Gatling unit, new 30-minute missions weapon pack, 30-minute cistern, option body part type GO3 color B, and heavy armor, option parts set 5, heavy armor. The new entry grade New Gundam is up for pre-order. Explore Lab Nature's Great White Shark. Figurized standard Dukamon / Gallantmon. Figurized standard Ultraman suit Taro action version. Also got the full mechanics Raider Gundam from Gundam Seed, so that's kind of cool. Some new M-AIM Brady Fox and Riki Kai, and the Joehound high grade Ghost Mark II weapon sets HG IBO Asmodee Schwab and Sigurun. The Gespensts from Super Robot Wars, the new Bandai parts separator, Pokemon Arceus and Rowlet, and of course the one that's going to be most exciting for a lot of people is the RG God Gundam. So we've got a lot of those Bandai pre-orders. A lot of these have probably been on other websites for months, and just something that I want to make sure I kind of cover in this is that with our Bandai pre-orders, we only post them once we get our confirmations of what we're actually going to get. We order them, they confirm what our order is, and then we post them, unlike most of the other shops in the industry that will post the pre-orders the second a kit gets announced or the second they get the order form. And it makes sense because that allows them to know how many to order. The downside is that supply is so limited these days that you could place an order for pre-order and you will never get it, or you won't get it until the second or third batch when it's produced, months and months later than initially expected. So with that in mind, we only offer pre-orders on items we know we're going to get, and even then we only offer a percentage of the stock we expect to get. So if there's an issue, some isn't delivered, some is damaged in transit, we don't have any issues with that, and that's worked out pretty well for us so far. There is one other pre-order. That's the Arcanidia lumatea. I'm probably mispronouncing that. So that's it for pre-orders this week. Let's talk about restocks. So restocks, we've got much less than last week, but some really good items. I'll start with the smaller ones first. We got 3 more of the Ultraman Armor of Legends. These are like Ultraman mashed up with Chinese classics. We got the Titus Guan Yu, the Ultraman Zero Wukong, and the Ginga Nezha armor. So we got those 3 just came in. I think we had two others last week. So we've got, I think, the first 5 of those already in. We got the new Gundam Heavy Weapon Set High Grade. This is the only 1 of 2 high grades we got this week. Not a lot of high grades. We didn't get a ton of these. Slide those back. We got the Jupitive Gundam. And I think this is actually the Jupitive and not just a weapon set. So that's kind of cool. So many of the core Gundam sets are just the core Gundam. So that's another way to get a core Gundam if you're into all those armors. We didn't get a ton of those either. We got the new Batman for Batmobile from the Batman version. So we'll see if Bandai kind of starts kicking butt on cars. Someone should build one of these and enter it into an IPMS event in the car category. It'd be kind of cool. And then one more small one kit-wise is the Arashi Kage cycle for Storm Shadow. So this is one of the G.I. Joe kits from Flame Toys. So if you've got a Storm Shadow or want a Storm Shadow, this would be a good combination there. Now on to the big stuff. We got 4 new master grades, or maybe not new, 2 of them are restocks. We got Virtues in. So this is our first big batch of Virtues since the initial delivery. We got a good number, not a super massive amount, but if you missed out on them last time we had them a month or 2 back, now would be a great time to get them. We also got the brand new master grade, the Dom and Rick Dom. These are pretty awesome looking. I thought I was a bigger fan of the Rick Dom, and then I saw the weapons that come with the Dom, and now I'm really torn. It feels like the kind of kit you shouldn't really need both of because they're so similar, and I might have a hard time resisting both myself. Here's that Rick Dom. It seems like the main differences are minor details and the weapons that come with them, but they both look very cool. And then finally, we got the Master Grade Eclipse in. Last time we had these, they only allowed us to get, I think it was 40. They told us how many we were going to get. We offered them for pre-order via the Discord, via a lottery system, because they were so few and far, so few to come by and hard to get. And so this is our first batch after that. We got an okay number, and we got more coming in a week or 2, but this is a great chance to pick one up if you had missed out on it prior. We also restocking this week is Gun Primer, great tool manufacturer. Most of their stuff is the same stuff we've had. There's not a ton of new, but the one new product I do want to point out is this laser finishing solution. It appears to be kind of like a polish and cleanup kind of solution, if you will, that you would use on the kit to help remove dust and stuff like that. I haven't used it yet myself, so I don't know what the pros and cons of using it are, and if there's a difference in how it works over painted and unpainted kits. Some of their example pictures show a clear I think it was a clear Sotheby or something, and it looked very. You could definitely tell a difference before and after, in the before and after pictures on the product photos, and so it looks like it might be very useful if you're looking for a way to clean up your kits. And I think that's it for Restocks. There's a chance we get a few more things in, but we are like dying trying to check stuff in right now. So that's what's up for sure. But it might be worth checking out what we got anyway, just in case something else snuck in at the last minute. And with that done, let's move on to Q&A. So this is the part where I answer questions from the viewers, you. So if you have a question you want answered, post it down in the comments below, and I'll do my best to try to answer it next week. So first up from James Halley, as I'm an overseas customer, I have to use different service to get my kits to Ireland. My question would be this: would you ever consider doing international shipping? So short answer is yes, I would consider it. The odds of me actually doing it are pretty low, and that's twofold. One is I feel like if the Japanese distributors are being told not to ship to the US, it's not a far cry for them to tell us to stop shipping overseas as well. We haven't been doing it, so I guess they haven't told us not to do it yet, but it could happen, and I'd be concerned about that. And two, international shipping seems to be a huge pain in the butt to estimate, because every country, every destination is going to be a different kind of set of charges. And then customs information and filling out all that paperwork definitely adds some extra work, if you will. And it's not that I don't want to do that work to reach more customers, but at least in the short term, it's been difficult to meet demand here. At some point, if we ever kind of get caught up and we're looking for ways to expand our market base, we might look into it. But it's definitely not something on the radar for the short term. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. Okay, next up, Crazy Rabbit. If shipping prices begin to go down, will the flat rate decrease? I was planning on looking at and evaluating shipping prices to potentially drop them if prices were going down. With the current shipping situation, we'll say, I don't think that's likely to happen in the near term. I will be reevaluating our shipping in the near future once I get a moment to breathe from everything else that's going on around here. But, if it makes sense to go down, we'll go down. If we have to go up, we'll go up. We're going to try to avoid going up as long as possible. But I don't expect many costs to go down these days for a while at the very least. Next up, Keith Bishop. Any idea when you'll get your pre-order confirmations for the new MGEX Strike Freedom unit? So given that we got our confirmations for Q2 on Monday officially, and that's for stuff produced in April, so they're like a month and a half plus late, I would say. I would hope that normally we would receive our confirmations before that production month starts. And we haven't received an order form with the MGX Strike Freedom on it yet. We might not get confirmations for it until sometime this fall, probably October, November, maybe somewhere in that time frame. It's a November production. So October, November, December would be the time frame. So if it followed the pattern of this month, it would probably be November before we get confirmations. Maybe September, October if we're lucky. Okay, next up, Bo Odell. Question for everyone: who out of any series do you hate the most? So for me, it's Camille Bidhan from Zeta. I don't know if I really hate anyone. I just want to be friends with everybody. That's what it is. The sappy faces looking back at me, telling me I'm stupid. I don't know. Who annoys me from the series? I don't know. I guess any character that is excessively altruistic and theoretical about their views, because the real world and even the real world within Gundam never works out that way. Like Relena Peacecraft, for example, being all peace all the time. Sometimes you just need to get in a big robot and fight people. Like it's kind of realistic, but I don't know if hate might be too strong of a word. Okay, next up, Grent 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. When will EG Arc 78 New Gundam be available? So that pre-order literally went up today, the day I'm filming this, Wednesday. I think new is, do you remember off the top of your head which month that was? April. That's April production, so they could arrive, probably earliest would be June, July, something like that. But it's hard to say because things have been hit or miss on delivery dates. MWG, question for you and the crew. What does Gunpla is freedom mean to you? It's a great question. For me, it literally means the freedom away from the career that I was hating at the time, doing the engineering consulting stuff I was doing. I was miserable, and Gunpla was my path to freedom from that. And now I'm just stressed out and dealing with trying to solve all the problems here. But no matter how stressful and frustrating it is at times, it's so much better than anything I was doing before. And the last question for today, Dolfo 1056.4, how difficult would it be to sell kits at a small shop that primarily sells cards and comics? Kits are impossible to find online, so I think they would just fly off the shelves. Thoughts? Probably. It really depends on the demographic and interest graph of the people that shop at that shop. I think there's a lot of crossover between comics and cards and Gunpla potentially, but it really depends on the individuals, and I don't really know. I've never really done retail, so I don't really know what that crowd looks like, and I also don't sell to people specifically cards and comics, so I also don't know where that crosses over. I would think they probably would do okay though. And I think that's it for questions this week. So just like I said at the beginning, if you have questions you want answered, post them down in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer them next week. And thank you for watching. See you next time.